type if I'm audible. So if I'm audible, type yes in the chat section so that I can see your chats. So yes, we're audible. Good. So hi and welcome to all of you. The topic that we're going to talk about today is the only way to get placements. Believe me, there is just one single way to get placements in this world. And there's no other way through which a good placement can be secured. But why is it so that so many people still remain unplaced? Even in your batch, you must be looking at carefully that most of the sincere coders who are very good at their skills, even they are struggling with the basic things, with very, very basic things in the placement journey, and they might not be ending up with very good placements, isn't it? So agar ek hi tarika hai, if there is just one single way, why is it that so many people are still jobless? The reason is a structured preparation, a single structured roadmap with well-defined chronology. And it is always missing. And that is why I've seen multiple students who either mess up the chronology of the steps or they don't have the exact idea of how a good roadmap should be built. So that is what we're going to talk about in today's session. And that is what we'll discuss thoroughly throughout the session. Okay. So before I proceed forward, follow us on the channels, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. The reason being, we keep on posting a lot of hiring opportunities, a lot of useful content for the students on these channels. You can connect with us on WhatsApp and Telegram. And that is why these followings are super important, because you might miss some very good opportunities that are already in the market. But here, if you're following these channels, you'll never miss any opportunity. Also, the top 3 people who comment on today's video will get PrepInsta Prime subscription for free, which is a subscription to the OG skilling platform in this industry. And let me tell you, I'll explain more on this as well, but this is one of the best platforms that you will access in your lifetime for the placement preparation. Okay. So without wasting any time, I'll move further. And before I start with what exactly the roadmap is, there must be a basic introduction about me. The reason being, you must know the teacher or the person who's telling you the exact roadmap. The reason being, I must have some credibility, right? मैंने खुद भी तो कुछ उखाड़ा होना चाहिए, तभी तो आपको मुझ पे भरोसा होगा, isn't it? I must have gone through the same journey, and believe me, I've gone through that journey that you're going through right now. And I've stepped in your boots, felt the temperature that you guys feel in your shoes, and that is why I'm advising you today with this roadmap. So, coming to a basic brief about me, I've completed my BTech in Computer Science Engineering. Recently, I achieved All India Rank 1 in the final result of Technical Graduate Course 138 for the prestigious Permanent Commission in the Indian Army. I also secured All India Rank 468 in the Union Public Service Commission National Defence Academy and Naval Academy examination. And this was for the 145th course. You guys can go and check my name if you want to. I've been an ex-ADP employee, which is a product-based company. I've been an intern at CSIR-CSIO, which is a National Laboratory of Government of India. And here I've done some very good and decent projects and achieved outstanding grade here. I've mentored SIH finalist teams. I've trained 5,000 plus students. I have expertise in data science, AI, ML, and deep learning. And that's a bit about me. So without wasting any of your time, I'll simply start away with the roadmap. And this is the only roadmap that exists. So before you go forward, take a notebook, take a register, take a pen, and start jotting down things. The reason being, the 10 paper plans are useless if you don't work on them. Make sure this is the last video that you watch for the placement preparation roadmap. And after this, immediately step into the action mode. Go ahead with the whole of your preparation. Try a level best that you follow this roadmap diligently. And I can promise you, if you follow this with honesty, perseverance, patience, and discipline, none, absolutely none can stop your placement. You'll definitely get a very good, a very decently paying job. You might land up in one of the finest companies in this corporate space, but there's a possibility that delay might happen. देर जरूर हो सकती है, तो कभी उससे disheartened मत होना. Don't get disheartened from the delays in the placement. Okay, it might happen. Your friends might get placed before you, right? Somebody can be extra hardworking than you, right? So don't get disheartened. Just keep on following your journey. Just stick to your plan, and believe me, magic will happen. Patience, perseverance, and hard work often beats even the natural talents. Okay, and I'll expand on it further, but we'll start away. And first step is language. Languages are super important. All of us in this industry know that few languages are quite prominent and highly used in the industry. And the most popular languages are C++, Java, and Python. Now there is always a confusion, which language should I choose, right? So I'll be telling you how to choose language very smartly. Also, if you have no idea, no basis of preparation, what you should go with. In these upcoming slides, in this presentation, I'll tell you how to go with that. Okay. The second step is coding and DSA. It is also very important, and you can say that in your placement journey, it is one of the foundational steps. Okay. Coding and DSA is super important because in every company almost, you get a round where you have to code, where you have to do and solve DSA problems, and that is why it is super important. Also, this increases your problem solving ability, which is highly required in corporate space. Okay. So if you want to secure a very good placement, coding and DSA is something that you should never ignore. It is highly important, and the chronology of this whole roadmap is super important. So follow it in this manner only. But there is one step in this whole roadmap that will start with this step only. Okay, यहीं से शुरू हो जाएगा वो सारा, वो जो शुरू का स्टेप है वो यहीं आके लैंड अप करेगा जो आगे हमने लिखा हुआ है. The step, you will start it here itself, which is aptitude, and I'll expand on it. How you have to practice it, I'll tell you. But initially, just get a basic hang of things that apart from all these steps, this particular step will start here itself. Okay. Now, the most important or the foundational, structural and functional unit of this roadmap is skill upgradation and project building. Why am I stressing it so much? The reason is, industry is only concerned about whether you're skilled or not. It is a simple question. You might be from IIT, you might be from NIT, you might be from the best college, or you might be from a tier 3 college. The only question that is relevant to industry is whether you're good at skills, whether you know the skills well, whether you have built some good hands-on projects, whether you have built some good projects of working demos that you can show, and do you have good exposure in that. Okay, so here skill upgradation, project building is highly essential. Skills like data science, AI, ML, full stack development, cybersecurity, Tableau, data analysis, these skills are quite important nowadays. And I'll expand how to upgrade yourself, how to upgrade your skills. There are some prime skills which are super essential for the market. Okay, so there are some skills which are always preferred above the other skills, and that I'll tell you which are they. And I just talked about that you need to have a very good exposure. Now, where do you get this exposure from? This exposure comes from the real-time industry problems. And where do you get it? Internships. जब आप एक्चुअल में कुछ काम करोगे तभी तो मालूम पड़ेगा ना कि रियल टाइम मार्केट में प्रॉब्लम क्या एग्जिस्ट करती है. एंड दैट इज व्हाई इंटर्नशिप्स आर सुपर इंपॉर्टेंट. ऑल्सो इंटर्नशिप requires, the internship interviews require a basic understanding of coding and DSA, a basic understanding of skills, and that is why the chronology is like this. Okay, so to secure a good internship, you need to be thorough with these steps. And internships will also provide you the opportunities like pre-placement offers or PPOs. Okay, so this might help you very well to secure a job in your third year itself, if you're into third or second year, whatever you are in. If you're not a final year student, internships can land you in a very good position. Also, if you're a final year student and you get internship in a product-based company like Microsoft, that is also a very good opportunity. So this step is quite important for your professional life. Now coming back to the aptitude practice that I just spoke about, a few minutes ago. Aptitude will start on day 1. Okay, 60 minutes daily you will practice this. Why am I saying that you have to practice it since day 1? Why am I saying it? Simple baat hai. When you're competing in your college placements, always the first round is aptitude, right? And there 80% people would be simply rejected. Why? They're bad at aptitude. I have my classmates, I saw my peers who were super good at skills, who were super good at coding, but they failed in aptitude and they remained unplaced even when the whole placement season ended. Okay, so you need to be super careful about aptitude practice. Okay, also if you go in the off-campus placements, in those particular exams, for example TCS, NQT, if you've heard that exam, most probably all of us have heard about it. In NQT, people apply in lakhs, the applications are in lakhs. So to beat that competition, you need to know aptitude well, because the first step where maximum people get rejected is aptitude. So you need to be very thorough with this particular portion, right? And the second is core CS subjects. I'll expand on them, which subjects are there. But some subjects lay the foundation of computer science. Okay, they're always used. And if your grip on these subjects is not good, you'll always flicker in the industry. You'll not be able to build very good projects. Okay. Also, in the placement preparation, why it is essential? Because in the interviews, there is always one round which is dedicated to these core CS subjects, or there might be a round where they are asking the project skills as well as the core CS subjects. The reason is, it checks two things: whether your fundamentals are clear, secondly, whether you were sincere while your education journey. Simply. So you need to be very careful about those particular subjects. Also, they're highly used in industry, so they are relevant. After this step comes resume building. Basically, it is resume which tells everything about you, right? We'll expand on it in the further slides, but resume is a super important step. Resume is what actually looks like, or which actually shows what actual hard work you've done in your real life. Also, there are some companies and some colleges which give the task to the TPO that you give us resume, we'll shortlist the resume, and then we'll give them the test link. So half of the people get rejected in resume round itself. Okay, so resume should be super good, and how to make it good, I'll expand further. Also, our next live would be scheduled on this only, so you must stay tuned. And that is the another reason why you should follow our social media channels, why you should be super active on LinkedIn with us. The reason is, such updates, such lives would be posted there, such information would be posted there, so that you could access that information and come straight away to this live and watch. Guys, I would want you guys to hold your doubts. I'll take up your doubts in the ending. Okay, while we'll conclude with this live, I'll specifically keep some time for your doubts, so you can hold on with them. Okay, now coming back here, if you've done this roadmap very diligently, if you've done this roadmap with all your honesty, with all your perseverance, with all your patience, believe me, there is nobody who can stop your selection. Definitely an offer letter would be rolled out to you, and post your background verification, you'll land up in a job. I'm again repeating, it might be possible that your journey might prolong than others if somebody is working harder than you. If somebody is already working very hard prior to your journey, right? Don't get disheartened by anybody's journey. Okay, everybody's journey is different, everybody's destination is different, everybody's hard work, everybody's dedication is different. So just keep on following yourself, just keep a check on yourself, be disciplined, be patient, and things will change, believe me. Now, moving forward, we'll move step by step, we'll expand on every step, we'll understand what is most essential for us. So choosing languages for placements is always a big question, always a big question. Which language should be the best language? Okay, so if I come to language, I'll first advise you to learn C. Before you dive into these languages, go ahead, learn C. The reason is, C language has some concepts that lay the fundamental skills of programming. Okay, they lay the fundamental foundation of the programming. So you need to be very thorough with the C language. Also, there are some concepts which are often frequently asked in the previous year questions of the large mass hiring campaigns, or they are often asked in the interviews as well. For example, pointers. This is a concept which is quite exclusive to C or C++, you'll see sometimes. In Python and Java, they are virtually non-existent. Okay, the use is very limited. So pointers का अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपको तभी बिल्ड होगा जब आप सी अच्छे से कर रहे हो. सी में आपको पॉइंटर्स का इतना हैंड्स ऑन प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगा कि जब आप जाते हो एक्चुअल इंटरव्यू देने तो यू विल बी थरो विद द concept of pointers. So you need to be very careful about that. After you are thorough with C, you can choose the languages amongst these three. Why? These are the most widely used languages, C++, Java and Python. And I'll tell you domain wise which can be a suitable language for you. For example, if you're somebody who wants to go in embedded coding, what is embedded coding? It is the coding related to the automobile embedded sector, or the sector where the embedded chips are being used. There C++ is often used. Okay, .NET developer, full stack developer, DevOps engineer, these domains often require a good grip on C++. Okay, so you can, if you're somebody who is aspiring for these domains, C++ is a language for you. Similarly, somebody who is aspiring for backend engineer, Java developer, Spring Boot developer, full stack developer, even the DevOps engineer, Java can be a very good choice. Okay, so why I have left Python, or why I'm speaking about it on the last, I guess in the last order, the reason is Python is a very good language, a language in trend. Often a buzz is created around it due to AI and ML, but there are certain problems that lie with the Python, and I'll tell you. Okay, if you're somebody aspiring for data scientist role, AI ML engineer role, data engineer role, NLP engineer role, Python is a go-to language for you. But if you're somebody who has just started his placement preparation and he's in 4th year, usko laga ke bhai 3 saal to maze kar liye, I've enjoyed my 3 years in the college, now I want a placement. So Python is not something for you. Go with C++ or Java. Okay, C++ can be the best choice for you if you have not studied anything earlier. The reason being, in most of the online examination platforms, you often encounter such errors in Python that can't be solved at your end. Okay, even the test cases will fail even if you write the right code. The reason is there is a concept called indentation in Python. Okay, there is a concept called indentation. You can Google it out. What is it? It is just like a margin in a notebook, kind of that, a brief or rough understanding you can relate to. But this indentation often creates problems in online compilers while appearing for tests. So if you're somebody who exclusively wants to aspire for these roles, or who is highly passionate about data science, I suggest that you go for Python. But if you're somebody who is not aspiring for these roles, or you're somebody who has no understanding whatsoever, he's absolutely beginner in this journey, go for C++, go for Java, don't look towards Python, being very honest and blunt with you. Okay, now coding in DSA. In this step, I've divided this into 2 portions. Okay, and I'll explain them one by one to you. For all the branches who are non-CSC, वो लोग जो CSC के नहीं हैं, for example, electronics communication engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, biotech engineering, XYZ engineering, whatsoever, okay? Or the people who are beginner in the CSC branch. By beginner, I mean they have not studied, or they were not very serious, they were enjoying the college life, and suddenly they felt a need for the job. Or people who do not have very good access to the right resources, okay? And they're not very thorough with the basic concepts of DSA. This is one category, and for you, coding journey is quite different. I'll tell you how to cover things. First is basic concepts learning. You need to learn the basic concepts. You need to clear the fundamentals of the concepts of DSA, which is data structures and algorithms. And once you're thorough with them, once you're done that, the next thing that is immediately in the pipeline is PrepInsta Top 100 Codes. Now what is this? I'll explain you. This is a free resource for all of you. So what you can do is, you go and search top 100 codes. I'll show you how it looks like. You go and search top 100 codes. In that list, you'll find 100 questions with multiple methods in multiple languages. They're solved there. You can see the solutions. You can try them first, solving yourself. If you don't get how to solve it, go ahead and see the solutions. Okay. So this is a very good list. And if you follow this list diligently, this is a free list open to all. If you follow this list diligently, believe me, half of the work is done at your end. You can easily clear the coding rounds for the service-based companies if you're thorough with top 100 codes. I'll show you how it looks like. If you search for PrepInsta Top 100 Codes, this is what appears on Google, and if I click on it, this is how PrepInsta Top 100 Codes page looks like. and you have multiple options, you have multiple questions, and in multiple language options. Okay, so for example, if I want to see Fibonacci series up to nth term, so I open this in C++ language. Okay, now see, the problem is given, and with that the method is given. 4 methods are available. Even in some questions you will find 6 methods. So you can get a better understanding which method is best, what is the best time complexity, which can be used well. So this is how this page looks like, and this will help you and will get you a very good understanding of C++ kind of codes, or whatever coding, basic coding problems you'll understand well. If you're thorough with these top 100 codes, if these top 100 codes are at your fingertips, believe me, आपका आधा काम हो चुका है. Half work is done here. Okay. So if you're somebody who is beginner in CSC, I explained what beginner in CSC in this context means, or you're somebody who is from non-CSC branch, first thing you should cover is this alongside the basic concepts. Okay. Now, coming back to the people who are CSC intermediates, which means people who have studied CSC in a quite diligent manner, they were quite sincere students, and they have a basic understanding of DSA. They know how things function in data structures and algorithms. For them, first is revision of basic concepts. It is highly essential. The reason being, every time you revise, you'll find that there are certain new concepts that emerge, or there are certain concepts that you were not thorough with. You had forgotten about those concepts, and while you revise, you'll find that these concepts were super important. So revision is the first and the foremost step. Even if you're the biggest of the coders in your college, you'll start with revision of the basic concepts. Okay. Then we're planning 150 not out. What is this? This is quite interesting thing that I'm going to tell you, and it might change whole perspective of your placement journey if you are somebody who is intermediately well in CSC. Okay, this is a list of 150 questions that I have brainstormed. I've sat with the team, we have planned it thoroughly, and believe me, this is the only 150 question list that you need to practice for any kind of company in this world. Believe me, if you have done this list, you can end up in any company you like. Why it is so? There are very limited patterns that exist in industry. बहुत कम और बहुत limited pattern है जो industry में फिलहाल हैं, और उतने ही patterns में से questions repeat themselves. Okay, either people combine two concepts and form a new question, combine two patterns, form a new question, or what they do is they put a question similar to the question which is present in this 150 not out list. Okay, this list would be rolled out for you guys in a few weeks. We are brainstorming on it. We are trying to increase the methods of solving in it, so that for understanding and for better perspective, you get how things are working in this list. Okay, so it will be rolled out for all of you for free on the PrepInsta, just like top 100 codes. We'll release this 150 not out questions, and on that website that I just showed you, prepinsta.com, you can easily access it. Okay, so if you're somebody who is intermediate in CSC and has started with this journey, first focus on revision of basic concepts. By the time you revise all the concepts, we'll be ready with this list. The list would be rolled out in few weeks, and definitely you can go ahead and practice yourself. If you've completed this list diligently, you can think of a company, think of Microsoft, you can end up there, subject to the other things that I show you in the roadmap, and you follow them. After you've done this portion, the most important portion is practice. Practice, practice, and practice. I can't stress enough on it. The reason is, the more you practice, the more you'll realize that you're quite comfortable in solving new problems. You'll get super comfortable in solving the old problems, and you'll be quite comfortable in solving the new problems. Okay, why practice is so essential? The reason is, practice is the paramount form that can lead to you to your destination. It is the paramount form of journey, or paramount form of particular way to follow that can lead you to the destination that you want to. Very simple. Also, if you have perseverance, okay, and discipline alongside practice and a bit of patience as well, believe me, no one can beat you. No one can stop you from getting a very good placement. Often you have heard that people say, this guy is super talented in coding. वो talent कहाँ से आ रहा है? Talent is the paramount form of practice. he has fallen 10,000 times, he has got up 10,000 times, he has practiced 10,000 times, and that is why he's being called talented. तो talent जो है ना उसका source होती है practice. जितना practice करोगे उतना easy हो जाएगा for you guys. Okay. I'll move forward and we'll come to the most important step: skill upgradation and project building. This is super important, as I stressed earlier. Why is it so? Industry में it might happen that for initial placements IIT, NIT tags might matter. But in the longer run, first of all, nobody is interested in knowing from which college you are. Everybody is interested, do you actually know the job? Are you actually good at your skills that you possess? Have you built some good projects? Do you have a good exposure? All that journey, all that particular things that you've covered, are they actually real on your resume? Are you actually good at what you're saying in your resume? That is what matters, simply. Okay. तो प्राइम स्किल्स है कुछ प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए, कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए, एंड दीज प्राइम स्किल्स आर नाउ in huge demand. For example, data science, machine learning, data analysis, ethical hacking, always in demand, but quite tricky to learn. And I'll guide you towards the right resources if you're somebody into it. Power BI, Tableau, NLP and deep learning, cybersecurity, many more exciting courses you can find. But where you can find it? Now comes an interesting problem that most of the students face. It is that if you want to learn a skill, first of all, you need to identify right resources. Okay. If you want to build some good projects, you need to identify some other right resources. Then for learning that particular thing, most of the free contents deliver very less kind of quality, or they're not up to the mark, or they're not up to the industry standards, right? The places or the courses which are actually industry standard or which are actually good, they are quite expensive. And for a college student to spend so much on each and every skill is not feasible. It's not economically feasible. Also to find good projects, also to find how to build them end to end, because you get doubts while building projects, there are no good resources. So to solve this problem, there's a platform, the OG platform of skilling, PrepInsta Prime. Why am I talking about it? The reason is you get everything under one roof. You get skilling, you get DSA courses, you get C++, you get languages, you get everything that you can imagine for your placement journey under one single roof, under one single umbrella of PrepInsta Prime. I'll show you this platform, how it looks like, okay? And it is super affordable, let me tell you. Why am I behind this platform? Why am I so much into this platform? The reason is I discovered this in my college days. And I found it super helpful. The reason being, under one roof, I can learn multiple skills. Just like I get Netflix subscription, I can watch any movie on Netflix. Similarly, if I get a PrepInsta Prime subscription, I can get any course, any skill I can watch and learn. For example, in the first month, I felt I should learn data science. I learned data science at a very fast pace. And then I felt now I want to upgrade myself with a new skill. Now I have to buy a new product if I'm in the open market. But if you are with the PrepInsta Prime, if you have got the subscription, believe me, on this platform itself, there are a platter of courses. These courses are very well designed, very well structured in a well chronological manner, and you can easily learn things here. Okay. So under the one roof, you find things. और ये कुछ वैसा मामला है कि ना, it is kind of a mall where the prices are of sabji mandi. Okay. It is that much affordable. I'll show you this platform. This is PrepInsta Prime, and that is how you can browse courses. See, for every company, you can see there are courses for skilling, popular skills. There are courses, full stack courses, popular languages. You can see C++, Java, Python. Even for the C, if you want to learn C, that is also available. There are popular coding tracks that have been built. Aptitude, that we'll talk in further slides, that is also available, very well structured here. There are tracks for service-based companies, product-based companies. I can't just imagine that how these guys built this. This is superb in my context. When I found it in my college, it was super helpful for me. And for the end-to-end projects also, they have this plethora of projects available with them. Okay. And if I go by the prices, this is the price range. See, for 3 months, it is 3952. For 6 months, it is 4883 currently. And if you see these prices, I can challenge you, go ahead, visit the sites that teach DSA. Even the 24 months price, na, that is also lesser than the price they charge for one single DSA course. Okay. And that is why I love this platform, because most of the people who are studying in colleges want some affordable courses. That is why PrepInsta Prime is super important. So here you can learn things in a very structured manner, and if you like these courses, or if you like the structured way of learning, you can simply go into enrolling to these courses. But with that, I'll tell you one thing. If you're somebody who is not very good or very well off, or not very good in financial conditions, you're struggling with bare necessities, I'll suggest you don't buy any platform, be it anybody. Why am I saying this? As a teacher, I'm accountable to your journey. As a teacher, मेरे लिए ज़रूरी है कि जो बच्चे मुझसे सीख रहे हैं वो प्लेस हों, पहला प्रायोरिटी वो है, उनकी जर्नी ईजी बना सकूँ मैं, पहली प्रायोरिटी वो है, ठीक है. सो इफ यूर समबडी जिसके पास रिसोर्सेज बहुत कम है, जो बेयर नेसेसिटीज़ के लिए भी स्ट्रगल कर रहा है और बहुत मुश्किल से वो अपनी पढ़ाई अफोर्ड कर पा रहा है, आप ये रोड मैप फॉलो करो. यू फॉलो दिस रोड मैप. बिलीव मी, दिस रोड मैप itself will lead you to success, but there's a catch. You'll have to wait longer, you'll have to work longer. The reason being, you'll not get structured courses, so you'll have to find free resources for you. You'll have to do that job, you'll have to solve that problem that has already been solved at PrepInsta Prime. So people who can afford it, it is super good for them. But if you're somebody struggling with bare necessities, you do that hard work. Just think that your journey is 6 months longer than average man. Okay, somebody who's enrolling in PrepInsta can do that in 3-4 months. You might do it in 7-8 months, or maybe longer, to be honest. But with that, I can assure you, if you work on this roadmap honestly that I told you, none can stop your placement. So don't worry if you cannot afford these courses or any of the courses. You can be easily successful in this particular domain of placements if you are thorough with the roadmap and you work on it diligently. Simple. Okay. But if you're somebody who can afford it, believe me, this is the best platform to learn. आपके पास इससे अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म अवेलेबल नहीं है इस टाइम ऑन इंटरनेट. और मैं इसलिए कह सकता हूँ बिकॉज मैं खुद एक कस्टमर भी रहा हूँ इनका, ठीक है. सो आई नो हाउ थिंग्स फंक्शन ऑन दिस, एंड वन ऑफ माई सीनियर्स एक्चुअली गॉट मी एक्वेंटेड विद इट. और वो मेरी जस्ट 1 साल सीनियर थी और उन्होंने मुझे प्लेटफॉर्म बताया था, एंड बिलीव मी, माई लाइफ चेंज्ड व्हेन आई got the subscription. I went to a product based company after this. So coming to internships, as I mentioned, good exposure is super important और वो internship से ही मिलता है. So what we can do is, internships के लिए there is something called, just a minute, give me a minute, I'll move on to those slides. Yes, internships के लिए what you can do is, you can think of 2 domains. मोटे मोटे 2 डोमेन है, गवर्नमेंट एंड प्राइवेट. ओके, इन द गवर्नमेंट डोमेन्स देर आर लैब्स लाइक DRDO, द लैब्स ऑफ DRDO, centers of ISRO, IIT, NIT. Some professors also run internships throughout the year. Some labs of CSIR, they run internships throughout the year. And we'll cover this in one of the upcoming lives, that how you can go ahead with the government as well as private internships. I'll explain that in detail. But for now, you can get the information that in these particular labs, also some other labs as well of Government of India or some other organizations of Government of India, you get internships. They are open for specific time. They open the application forms, you apply. If your resume is good enough, they shortlist you, and then you land up here. Okay. For private companies, some good colleges get internship opportunities for their students by service-based companies or by product-based companies or by startups, right? In few tier 3 colleges, even the companies for internships aren't available. So in the off-campus market, you can try for those internships, given that you have followed the roadmap well, so that it would enable you to crack the interview for the internship. Also, if you have studied the things well, internship ka interview is lighter as compared to the job interview, so you can easily crack it. Also, in the product-based companies or in the service-based companies as well nowadays, you often get an opportunity for the PPO. So here internships are super important. Also, internships provide you the real-time understanding of the industry problems that are actually existing in real life, and when you try solving them, you get a very good exposure on how to practically implement skills, and also you learn how to get along with the corporate setting or the company settings. Okay, startups, these are super good for internships. Why? Here the learning opportunities are enormous, and here you can work in multiple domains, get your hands dirty in multiple domains, get experiences of things, and believe me, startups can be a heaven to learn things if you work in the right direction, if you're a hardworking person, being very honest. Okay, so after internships there is aptitude, which I spoke about earlier. Daily 60 minutes since day 1, पहले दिन से शुरू होगा एप्टीट्यूड. ओके, क्वांट्स, लॉजिकल, वर्बल, डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन, विजुअल रीजनिंग, गेम बेस्ड एप्टीट्यूड. There are some topics in aptitude which are newly evolving for the placements. Okay, companies are trying different experiments. So where do you get that information from? Again, PrepInsta Prime wins this game. PrepInsta Prime पे सब अवेलेबल है, एप्टीट्यूड का एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड कोर्स अवेलेबल है, and there you get some of the concepts of aptitude which are not available anywhere in the market. You'll find some concepts which are emerging in the market. They are adapting themselves to the market needs. They know that what is being asked frequently in the previous year papers, and that is why previous year papers are also very essential, and you can cover those questions on PrepInsta Prime. Okay, mocks, resume shortlisting, that always happens after the aptitude round mostly, right? So aptitude round is super important. I've told you the importance of this round, and the structured courses you can easily access on PrepInsta Prime. They've taught it very well. Now coming to the core CS subjects, right? DBMS, computer networks, operating systems, these are the foundational structures. These are the foundational subjects of computer science. So you need to be very thorough with them. Also, these subjects let you get an edge in the final rounds of the interview when somebody asks you a question related to these particular domains. The reason is, if you were actually sincere while your college journey, you will always have a good grip on them. But a smart person will always learn them while the placement season is going on. They'll revise it well and they'll end up in very good companies. So you need to be thorough with these. Some people, you might have heard that, experience SQL questions in some of the interview rounds and they fail. The reason is lack of understanding in DBMS. Some people get basic questions like what is deadlock and they fail. The reason is they haven't studied operating system. So you need to be very, very thorough with these subjects. Okay. Now, after this whole journey happens, the resume building stage is essential. You need to build a good resume. Why? It is your resume that tells the story of your hard work to the recruiter. Recruiter doesn't know you, right? So it is the resume which will portray what you are actually done, what you have actually practiced in reality, what you have actually believed and worked for so many longer durations, right? How do you find a good candidate? The first thing is resume, right? And in your resume, it will be detailed what exposure you received on the industry end, right? What projects you built, how you planned things in your college life or in your professional life are displayed by resume, right? So resume is super important. And also resume is important because in the college placements also, this is a particular document that is often used to grill you in interviews if you have lied. So first thing is, don't lie here, number one. Number two, make it so good that it leaves an everlasting impression on the recruiter. But how it will leave, that I'll tell you. First is quantification. I'll schedule another live on resume building so that I tell you how a good resume is built. We'll expand on it more, but the basic points I'll explain you here. First is quantification. You need to show numbers in your resume. By numbers, I don't mean phone numbers. तो phone numbers मत डालने लगना यहाँ पे हद से ज़्यादा. A basic one contact number is enough. Okay. But quantification means what actual results in the terms of data and numbers have you delivered, right? जो आपने internships की थी, जो professional experiences किए थे, जो projects बनाए थे, उनके numbers क्या हैं, उनका data क्या है, उनका success rate क्या है, उनकी जो basic foundational data की analytics हैं वो क्या हैं, वो कैसे मिलेगा, metrics कैसे मिलेंगी, quantification से मिलेंगी. So be very careful, be very aware of quantification. Industry is quite aware about quantification, but इसके बारे में students को जल्दी से नहीं पता होता है. So this is something which is of paramount importance. Skills, can't stress enough. Skills तो सबसे important है. Skills, projects, internships, they make the resume stand out. They are the X factor in your resume. ठीक है? So build good projects, possess good skills, और प्रोजेक्ट्स अगर आपको नहीं पता है कि कौन से अच्छे हैं तो यू कैन फाइंड इट ऑन प्रेपिंस्टा प्राइम. मैं पहले बता चुका हूँ. इंटर्नशिप्स के लिए विल शेड्यूल अनदर लाइव, विल गेट हाउ टू अप्लाई फॉर good internships, how to proceed with the internship procedure, right? I'll tell you how to land up in good companies for internships. Certifications, they are super important. This is a section which often people ignore, but recruiters don't. So certifications are highly essential, and if you're going for a PrepInsta Prime course, again PrepInsta Prime is super good at it. If you're going for it, they provide a certificate to you. So basically you can show that certification there itself, right? In the resume. So that adds value to your resume, okay? Also, your LinkedIn profile is super important. I'll also schedule a live where I explain how to build a LinkedIn profile, or we'll do it with the resume live only. We'll plan it, okay? GitHub profile, it is also important. One thing is also important in projects. If you can do this, that you record a video of your project where it is working and you put it somewhere on YouTube or in some of your Drive link, and you paste that link in your resume, and a person can access that link and watch that video and watch that project working. It makes your resume 10 times better. It immediately pushes you in the top 1% of the people who have applied. Okay, you're 99% ahead of your competition. So that is one pro tip that I'm giving you that you must follow. Once a good resume is built, once you've followed all the steps chronologically, once you have done this in this chronological manner and you've worked diligently, believe me, आपकी placement पक्का होगी. You'll not remain jobless. You'll definitely land up in a very good company. Okay, और होगा तभी जब you work diligently, you work hard, and you work in a strategic, careful, structured manner that I have told you. It is the structure that is always missing, due to which people don't land up in good companies or don't land up in any company at all. ठीक है, उनको jobs ही नहीं मिलते. The reason being structure missing होता है. तो I've told you the whole structure. आप इस structure के साथ thorough हो जाइए, and you'll get very well placements. You'll get very well opportunities. And believe me, ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपको ये लगता हो कि शायद you land up in service based companies, but after following this roadmap, it might happen you land up in some of the mang companies or the top product based companies, high paying companies. Okay, so just don't get disheartened by the duration of your journey. Keep on working slowly, keep on working patiently, and believe me, you'll get results. Also, again, I'm telling you, join our communities, because most of the things would be posted here. Most of the updates regarding me would be posted here. And if you like me, if you like this video, if you believe that this is something that every student needs, every friend of yours needs, forward it. Share it to the people who belong to your community. Share it to the people who need help. Share it to the people who need roadmap for placement. The reason is, if you do good, good comes back to you. Believe me, it is tried and tested by me. Every time good comes back to me if I do some good to some other person. ठीक है, तो आप अच्छा करते रहो, दुनिया के लिए भी अच्छा करके देखो, and things will come back to you. ठीक है, you just share it. मैं फिर से कह रहा हूँ, if you are somebody who can afford things, go for PrepInsta Prime. There's no other subscription like that. But if you're somebody who is not very well off, I've told you the options, right? Also, the top 3 comments are getting the PrepInsta Prime free today. So comment fast and get your chance. You might land up a free subscription. You might be one of the people who don't have to spend any penny on the subscription, and you might land up with the best subscription on the internet, which is available right now. So keep on sharing things, subscribe to our channel for updates, keep on following us on these social media platforms, follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn. You can connect with us on WhatsApp and Telegram. We post updates here, and you'll be well aware that what we are doing next. Okay, so stay tuned for the further updates, stay tuned for the further guidance. Believe me, I am one of your friends who will help you throughout the journey. I am somebody who has covered the journey that you are right now covering. I know the temperature of your shoes. I can guide you to the last destination that you want to achieve. Okay, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and if you believe that this is something that can help others, please share. Thank you.